Beautiful. So you know it's changed a little bit. Depends on how long ago you came. So it's a replica of what Ballarat was like in the 1850s through to about 1861, around that time when the trains came to the area. So gold was discovered here early 1850s, a little bit around that time, and it was alluvial gold in rivers that was first found. They dried up the rivers quite quickly, so people came from overseas, found the gold, took the gold, sent it back to England, and then left very little here above the ground. And that's when they started going down to the mines under the ground to look for the gold in quartz. So we call them quartz mines here because they were dragging out the quartz, they'd crush the quartz, and then they'd make it they'd extract the gold. Now, Sovereign Hills Main Road is a replica of the main road that is down the hill a little bit. So that doesn't look exactly the way it did, but those buildings that were there were dotted along that road back into Ballarat. So between Golden Point Hotel, which is on the corner up in the next block, and then where it comes into Bakery Hill into Ballarat, there's about 110 hotels there in the heyday along that really short stretch of road. So it was quite populous and quite busy. People would come by Geelong, and they'd come down and settle here and look for their gold. So Sovereign Hill's broken up into precincts. We have the diggings, which is the early Ballarat, and then we move into the main street, which is obviously what it became when the gold was found, and they decided to make it more of a permanent place. And then we have the residential precinct where you can see the styles of houses that existed. Dotted throughout it are stories of people from Ireland and from that kind of history as well. So there are little glimmers of that throughout the museum and throughout the characters that you speak to. So the Times office was run by Henry Seacamp, but it was really run by Clara Seacamp, who was his wife. She immigrated from Ireland with her 2 children. Her 3rd child she left in Ireland. She remarried, well, technically didn't get married, but became partner of Henry Seacamp, and was really the one who ran the Times newspaper, which was the first newspaper in the goldfields. She was also responsible for getting Henry's sentence. So Henry was involved in the Eureka Stockade, which you just came from. Yep. So did you hear the name Seacamp? So Seacamp was involved in that he would publish, or his paper published stories about the stockade and about the plight of the diggers. So he was arrested as part of that for inciting the riot, or for helping to incite the riot. He was jailed, and then his wife Clara got a reduction to his sentence. So she went and collated a list of 2,000 signatures to get his sentence reduced, so it was halved. It was only 6 months, but it was reduced to 3 months, and he was the only one arrested as a result of the Eureka Stockade. So that's throughout the history and the history that we cover at this museum, there are glimmers of Irish history. What else can I
ask a question?
You can. I may not know the answer, but you can.
Why is it called Sovereign Hill?
Why is it called Sovereign Hill? It's on a hill.
Sovereignty?
Sovereignty.
Sovereignty? I don't know.
Gold sovereigns. The coins originally from Spanish were all sort of gold sovereigns. I don't know the full answer to that. I can try to find out for you.
That's a bit of history too.
It is, yeah. So they built this about 50 years ago. 1970 it opened, and it was a woman who basically got the land and decided he wanted to tell the story of the Ballarat's inception and creation. So he decided to create Sovereign Hill. And so it started with a couple of the buildings, and then built it on as became more popular.
So was Ballarat the name of the whole area prior to the British coming?
No. We had First Nation. I'm not a tour guide, just to let you guys know, so I don't have as much depth of knowledge. So that one I don't know, but it did have a First Nations name. So I cannot recall off the top of my head what that name was. So I do apologise. I don't have that depth of knowledge, but if you've got any other questions, I can try to answer them. Beautiful. I'll show you a couple of the precincts and then I
Yeah.
have to leave you guys.
Yep.